They left you when things got rough, didn't they? When your mask slipped, your weakness showed. When the world bit down hard on your back, they disappeared. Friends, lovers, family, those you'd have given everything for, turned cold when your fire dimmed. You believed they cared, you believed life was fair. But life doesn't reward loyalty, it honors usefulness. Let that sink in. Life respects the useful. They weren't wrong to leave. That's what should burn inside you the most. Because this world runs on utility, not sympathy. When you fall, when you bleed, the world doesn't stop to ask if you're okay. It steps over you and finds someone stronger. Here is the Machiavellian truth. That fall was the best thing that ever happened to you. Now you see it. The lies, the illusions, the fantasy of fairness. All dead. Now you can rise without carrying the weight of pretense. When everything breaks down, that's when the gods fall silent and men are forged. Power is never built in comfort. Power is built in the ashes. When your name is spat out, your hands tremble with rage, and no one comes to save you. That moment, that's the forge. That's where kings are born. You have a choice: remain broken, or choose here and now to make this pain your birthplace. The world thought it ended you. It didn't. It opened your cage. From this moment you move differently, not for approval, not to be liked, but to become untouchable. Number 1. The law of silent strategy. You become the one who thrives in silence, who plans in shadows, who builds strength where others seek mercy. No more asking for peace. You create power through dominance. This is war now. Your enemy is every version of yourself that begged for love from cowards. That version of you, let him die. The strength lies in controlled ruthlessness. If you want to survive when life falls apart, burn the lie that kindness is power. It isn't. Not when it's unconditional or blind. Ruthlessness, controlled and precise, is what pulls you from the dirt. Most believe being good means being soft. Softness is a luxury only the protected can afford. If you're bleeding, alone, and stripped of peace, softness won't save you. You need edge. Decide now: I will be useful. I will be feared before I am liked. When you enter a room, people should feel you. Not because you're loud, but because you carry silence like a blade. Ruthless men don't bark. They calculate. They scan. They watch weakness like predator's eye limping prey. The man you were sought acceptance. The man you must become seeks leverage. There's a world of difference. You don't stab people. You outthink them. You don't scream back. You remember everything. Let their insults season your strategy. Cold memory is deadlier than hot revenge. Controlled ruthlessness isn't chaos. It's discipline, with a dark edge. This isn't about hurting others. It's about no longer allowing others to hurt you. That moment you start setting boundaries with no explanation. The world will call you cruel. Good. Let them call you cold. Let them misunderstand you. The tiger doesn't explain its stripes. You owe no softness to a world that tried to destroy you. You owe it a response. Resilience wrapped in iron. Don't chase closure. Create consequences. From now on, move like a weapon with a purpose. No emotion unless strategic. No reaction unless useful. And when they wonder what's changed, let them choke on your silence. Number 2. The law of controlled ruthlessness. Say it. My silence is strategy. If you're done playing nice in a world built for wolves, the old self must die. The death of that man is your rebirth. The man you were before the collapse. The pleaser. The dreamer. The believer in second chances. He can't come with you. You don't rebuild while carrying corpses. That old self, the one who said yes when he meant no, who tolerated betrayal, who gave pieces of himself just to be seen. He was soft clay. Soft clay gets shaped by everyone else's hands. Let him rot. Say goodbye. He served his purpose. He showed you who not to be. You cannot become dangerous if you remain addicted to being loved. The old you begged for peace. The new you knows peace must be earned through dominance over your own chaos. Burn the identity built on compromise. Your real self doesn't come alive in comfort. It awakens when your back is against the wall, when no one applauds, when you must create meaning from silence. That is the graveyard where most men die, but also the soil where the rare few are reborn as something greater. Number 3. The law of anticipated betrayal. This rebirth isn't a glow-up. It's a warpath. You become someone who doesn't seek closure, who doesn't explain himself, who doesn't try to fix what even God destroyed. Your pain is the fire, your new self the weapon forged in it. Understand this. You're not healing, you're evolving. You're not a victim, you are the aftermath. Grieve who you were, but then make a vow. The next version of you doesn't chase, doesn't flinch, doesn't apologize for becoming untouchable. They might say you've changed. Good, that's the point. A man who stays the same after hell has no spine. Change is the tax of survival. Evolution is the price of power. Kill the old self. Bury him deep. Your past is a corpse. Don't mourn it. Now build inner fortresses, mental war rooms. Your mind is a battlefield. Most men walk through it barefoot, blindfolded, hoping the world will be kind, and then they wonder why they bleed. Not you. Not anymore. You are here to fortify your mind, brick by brick, thought by thought. Train it like a weapon. Guard it like a kingdom. This is your domain, the one thing you own outright. Everything else, money, status, love, is rented. Number 4. The law of pain's transformation. Become the fortress no one can breach. When you wake, you strategize. When you speak, every word is measured. When you feel, you interrogate the emotion before you ever let it take the reins. That's what sets you apart. Most men simply react. They flinch. They crumble. Not you. You observe. Your mind's war room is your command center. Inside it, you rehearse betrayals before they happen. Study the weaknesses of those around you. Predict exits, and plan you rebuilds before anything ever breaks. This isn't paranoia. It's preparation. And preparation is power. Where others see silence as emptiness, you know it's the space where plans are forged. You don't run from pain anymore. You dissect it, turning every scar into hard data. You journal like a general charts troop movement. Meditation isn't about peace for you. It's about sharpening your edge. Cold showers, relentless movement, mental stillness, calculated isolation. These aren't wellness trends. They're weapons. Every habit you build now feeds your internal war machine. So when the world tries to breach your citadel through chaos, gossip, or weakness, it finds your walls high, your gates locked, your mind too disciplined to infiltrate. You've become the kind of man who needs no reassurance, no audience, no applause, only results. Number 5. The law of mental fortress. Say it. My mind is my fortress. No one enters without permission. If you're ready to own the only territory that's truly yours, remember this. Silence is strategy. Silence is not weakness. It's the most underrated form of warfare. Loud men seek attention, but silent men study the battlefield. Most speak to hear their own echo and prove they exist. You, on the other hand, speak only to advance, defend, or win. When life collapses around you and your back hits rock bottom, you don't need noise. You need clarity. And clarity is born in silence. You stop explaining yourself. You stop announcing your next move. Let them wonder, guess, and spiral. Mystery isn't just a mood. It's a weapon. If you want to dominate your environment, say less. Hold your cards so close they forget you're even in the game. The Machiavellian mind doesn't perform, it observes. Silence gives you space to read the room, spot weakness, track manipulators, and move unseen. With every thought, reaction, and feeling you withhold, your strength grows. While others reveal themselves trying to provoke you, your silence makes you unpredictable. Don't broadcast your pain or overshare your struggle. Let them think you've vanished, then come back with results so undeniable, they stammer. Words are cheap, actions are final. You don't chase closure, you leave questions unanswered. Silence becomes your armor, your brand, your edge. Because here's the truth. When you stop giving people access to your emotions, they lose power over your direction. Silence is self-mastery. It's not reacting to disrespect, not defending your name to those who don't matter, not responding just because someone expects it. You sit with discomfort, you endure the noise, and you smile. Not because you're passive, but because you already know the outcome. They talk to be seen. You move in silence to conquer. Number 6. The law of ruthless detachment. Say it. Silence is my strategy. Mystery is my advantage. If you're finished with being readable, predictable, and weak, embrace cold empathy and weaponized understanding. Empathy is not weakness when it's controlled. True power comes from deeply understanding people without getting caught in their emotional current. You don't get swept away, you observe. You pay attention to their voices, their fears, their subtle tells. You don't react, you map their minds. That's cold empathy. Feeling enough to predict, not enough to be manipulated. Most men either lack empathy altogether, or let it devour them. Not you. You walk the edge between awareness and control. Understanding others as a hunter studies prey. Want true influence? Study how people justify betrayal. How they use moral talk to cover shame. How they project guilt to soothe their own conscience. Mirror their language. Echo their values until they trust you. When they slip, you'll see it before they do. This isn't cruelty. This is survival. In a world where power comes not from brute force, but from unseen leverage, the man who reads people controls the game. Before the opening move, emotions are data. Most people walking patterns, stuck on self-sabotaging loops, reveal the code to exploit them with every word they utter. The more they talk, the more they expose. So, you listen, you catalog, you calculate. You're not here to rescue anyone. You're here to understand them better than they understand themselves. Cold empathy is smiling as they lie, nodding as they perform, because you already see past the performance. You're already 2 moves ahead. Use their stories as your blueprint. Use their pain to mark their limit. When necessary, penetrate their armor with their own language. Not to comfort, but to lead, shape outcomes or walk away untouched. That's the edge. Feel, but never fall. Write it down. I read minds not to heal but to lead. If you're done letting the world hijack your emotions, you become the operator, not the victim. Number 7. The law of shadow ownership. The shadow mirror. Using pain as fuel. Everything that broke you was a lesson in disguise, leaving a blueprint for evolution. Pain isn't your enemy. It's the architect. Every betrayal, every silence, every time you vanished in a crowd, life was showing you what had to die and what had to be built. Weak men bury their pain, numb it, drown it in distractions. Not you. You weaponize it. Drag your pain into the light and stare it down until it becomes familiar, a reflection, not a deficiency. Look into that mirror and say, good, now I know where the fire begins. Because once pain is your reflection, it becomes your power. Healing isn't about forgetting. It's about remembering every cut with precision and turning memory into muscle. Use heartbreak to fuel your discipline. Let betrayal teach you to move in silence. Transform failure into motivation, to evolve with a relentlessness softness could never produce. Pain carves the outline of your former self, but also hands you the blade to sever what can't come with you. You don't just suffer, you convert. That's the difference. The victim flinches when it hurts. The killer sharpens his blade, Look at the worst that ever happened to you. Now ask, what if I used it? If I made it my drive, not my excuse? If I stopped telling my wounds for comfort and started using them for strategy? That's the shadow mirror. Pain is no longer a wound. It is your weapon. You're not here to recover. You're here to rise and conquer. You're here to rise. Your scars arranged like armor. Each one earned, remembered, and weaponized. Every scar is a lesson, not a weakness. My pain doesn't define me. It refines me. If you're ready to stop running from the fire and start becoming it, understand this. Mastering detachment is the end of needing. Need is the leash that keeps you controlled. As long as you require love, validation, approval, or peace from others, you're not free. You're domesticated, a trained dog waiting for praise. That ends here. Detachment isn't numbness. It's absolute control. You still feel and still want, but you no longer need. That distinction makes you dangerous. Once you stop needing anyone to see you, love you, or understand you, you become ungovernable. And in a collapsing world, only the ungovernable thrive. Want true mental strength? Kill dependency, including the quiet hopes you carry that they'll return, that they'll apologize, that they'll finally see your worth. Let those wishes die in silence. The man who waited and begged to be seen was ruled by need. Now you rule yourself. True detachment isn't an escape. It's an arrival. An arrival into the version of yourself that doesn't chase anything, because he already knows his value. Quiet, focused, self-fed, self-forged. Manipulation only works on the hungry. The moment you remove the need, they lose their hold. You see the games, the guilt, the emotional traps, the shaming. You cut through every one, not with anger, but with indifference. Detachment is clarity, not cold-heartedness. It's knowing that peace is internal, and true control is the absence of need. A man who needs nothing cannot be broken. He can lose, but he never begs. He can hurt, but never flinches. He walks alone but never drifts. Let them call it heartless. Let them say you've changed. You're not here to be understood. You're here to be unshakable. Number 8. The law of strategic indifference. I need nothing. That's why I'm free. If you've outgrown the leash of emotional dependence, let people talk. Let them whisper, accuse, and mock. Listen, not to defend yourself, but to learn. Your enemies reveal the truths you've hidden from yourself, the selfishness you were taught to be ashamed of. Good. Self comes first. That's how you stop bleeding for people who would let you burn. You're cold. Good. Ice doesn't bend, it cuts. You're ruthless. Even better, because ruthless men don't break, they bury. The moment you stop denying the monster they say you are, you start to control him. What others call your flaws are the very traits you need to survive. If they call you arrogant, it's only because your self-respect can't be manipulated. If they call you heartless, it's because you refuse to let guilt hold your leash. The problem isn't that you're too dark. It's that you were taught to be ashamed of your shadow. But every king has a dungeon. Every general has a graveyard behind his throne. Power demands you wear unapologetically the pieces of yourself that make sheep uncomfortable. You don't clear your name. You become the name that needs no clearing. The stronger you get, the louder the hate becomes, because you remind the world of everything they'll never be. That's your advantage. Don't explain it. Don't fix it. Let their words become the forge that shapes your armor. You are not the villain in their story. You are the correction, the price they paid for underestimating you. Once you realize this, their opinions become background noise in your symphony of revenge. Their fear builds your myth. Their gossip cements your legend. Use it all. Say it. I wear every insult like armor. If you're finished apologizing for your strength, understand this. The law of anticipated betrayal. Loyalty ends where inconvenience begins. Grasp that law, and you'll stop being shocked when people closest to you switch sides. The moment standing beside you costs them something. Betrayal isn't rare. It's predictable. Most walk through life hoping those around them won't hurt them. But you expect it. Plan for it, and turn it into strength. No more surprise, only strategy. The dagger in your back didn't come from nowhere. You just weren't watching closely enough. Trust slowly. Observe constantly. Rely on no one emotionally. That's not paranoia. It's power. The betrayal that ruins you is always the one you didn't see coming. From now on, expect the shift. Read the signs. Watch how they act when your value dims. Loyalty isn't proven in celebration. It's exposed in silence, in scarcity, in struggle. Let disappointment become your vision. Let betrayal become your training. That's how you become unbreakable. Most won't survive that test. Not because they're evil, but because they're weak. Weakness inevitably folds under pressure. You no longer get angry at betrayal. You get strategic. You take it as confirmation that your instincts were right. You watch how swiftly people rewrite history to justify their cowardice. You record it not for revenge, but as a general keeps a log. You're the general of your own life now, playing long games, holding long memories. You walk alone, not out of hate, but because you trust patterns, not promises. Anticipated betrayal is power. You don't overinvest, overshare, or give what hasn't been earned. When they fold, you're already 2 moves ahead. Not broken, not bitter, just colder and smarter. Say it. I expect betrayal. That's why I'm never broken. Number 9. The law of relentless evolution. If you're done being surprised by human nature, learn the final law. Be the storm. They told you to weather the storm, endure, and hold on. That's not who you are anymore. You don't stand in the rain hoping it passes. You become the rain, the chaos, the roar, the end of pretending. The final law. You don't survive life. You command it. You don't ask mercy. You become the force mercy begs to avoid. Storms don't explain. They arrive and shift everything. When you've rebuilt from ash, betrayal, and silence, you don't return soft. You return inevitable. You are not calm. You are controlled. You are not gentle. You are precise. When life throws the same pain again, it finds no entry point. Storms fear no lightning. They are lightning. This is the moment you step off the edge of who you were and never look back. No more negotiating with weakness. No more internal debates. The time for survival is over. You're not surviving anymore. You're taking ground. You're not a man trying to feel better. You're a force learning to dominate through discipline. From here on out, you move like thunder. You speak with consequence. You live as if your silence could shatter city. You're not after healing. You're after control. Control of your mind, your moves, your energy. You are the storm now. Unpredictable, undeniable, unstoppable. Number 10. The law of becoming the storm. Let them try to explain you. Let them try to contain you. Your closing monologue powerfully encapsulates the transformative journey from victimhood to command, emphasizing resilience, strategic silence, and unstoppable force. It serves as a strong final rallying call. You are no longer defined by what happened to you, but by how you rose in response. No longer surviving, but commanding like a storm, unbreakable and untouchable. The phrase "I wear the storm as skin" vividly portrays owning that power and transformation externally and internally. The call to action. If you've stopped surviving and started commanding, like the video. Subscribe, hit the bell. Fits a motivational or transformational video style, precisely, inviting active engagement from the audience. Your final line, "We're not here to feel better, we're here to become untouchable," captures the core theme of transcending pain and vulnerability to reach a state of invulnerability through discipline, law, and inner strength.